like to give any opening comments?
Yeah, we're obviously incredibly disappointed in the results of today and the results of the tournament and the results of the last 2 weeks. We've fought hard and put ourselves in a really good position. With these last 2 weeks left in the regular season and tournament opportunity, and put ourselves in a really good situation. And bottom line, we weren't able to get it done yet again today. And we've played some very good competition during that stint, and we learned a lot during that time. But for these 3 senior captains up here, that's they don't care to hear about that. It's an incredibly disappointing feeling right now.
We'll take questions from the student athletes.
Jeremy, pretty strong stuff today. What did you think about your start and just lack of offense behind you? But how did you feel out there?
I felt good. I came out strong and just trying to keep us in the game. Keep it with maybe a bloop and a blast away, and I got a little out of that, but just trying to keep the team in the game as long as I could, and thought the offense was going to pull around, and just didn't end up happening.
For Ryan,
Cypriot.
so I saw the tweet of your finger. What made you want to play today? Play with that finger?
I just, it was pretty disappointing what happened a couple weeks ago. I definitely wanted to play. I wasn't gonna play unless I thought I could be 100% for the team. And luckily, God's grace, fast healing. Jason Good, our trainer, working with me like crazy, put me in the position where today I'm finally ready to go. And thankful that coach gave me the opportunity as well.
You got a hit. Did it hurt? Bad, or did you hurt on contact?
Yeah, it hurt pretty much every time I made contact today a little bit, but I felt like my bat speed was there. I felt confident in what I could do, and I think I was just a little bit rusty the first couple at bats, being out for 2 weeks, but I was confident the whole time.
Jacob, you were 2 for 3 today. Had a couple hits. What were you seeing off of the starter that made you feel confident? And just what do you think you did to shut down the lineup overall?
Before the game, we looked at video of De Leon, and we had a game plan coming in, so had a good idea of tendencies and what we needed to do to get some offense going. I think we were close. We were really close. Hit some balls hard, but just wasn't what we needed.
Yeah, it seemed like early on you guys were striking for any of these. It seemed like you were striking the ball pretty well, but they were running them down. Nice plays in the outfield. Was that frustrating for you, or did you feel like you were going to break it open because of that? That the balls would start finding some grass.
It is frustrating hitting the ball well and then not finding a gap, but at the same time, it's also encouraging to know we're right there, and if we keep doing what we're doing, hopefully break through.
For any of the seniors up there, will you guys talk to the underclassmen about what this experience is like for you, and maybe imparting them any kind of message?
I know a lot of us, the whole year's kind of been like that, and whatever kind of words of wisdom we can give them, we do as much as we can. It's tough right now, but I think, as we get home and figure out what's going on in the next couple of weeks, we'll definitely talk to them, just taking advantage of opportunities that we've had, that we didn't have to take care of this year. I think we got a lot of programs, got a lot to look forward to with some young talent, so we'll see what happens.
Ryan, what will you look back on the last 3 years as far as your legacy, your seniors' legacy with this program for those 3 years, because you have constantly built, improved the record? Tell me how you'll think about that in the future.
That's a good question. I feel like all of us seniors have done a good job leading the program. I feel like the last couple of years, and something that I think our trainer or our strength coach Dean Hansen helped us a lot, and it's just never be satisfied, always be hungry and work your tail off. And I think we worked hard this last offseason. We worked really hard. But I think a message, we have to send is that, we improved, but you got to work so much harder to just get over the hump. And I think we were close, and I hope they understand that hard work goes a long way, and there's a lot more to go.
I also recognize the bracelet you wear. I know what that stands for. I want to
Mhm.
compliment you on your grace and character that I've seen you not only exhibit yourself, but I think that carries over to your teammates.
Thank you.
And I certainly personally appreciate that, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Anything else from the student athletes? All right, you guys are free to go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, I'm not one for omens, but I had to be thinking in the first inning when you get a guy on third base and nobody out, and for lack of that hit that we talked about so much this year, the third inning again, and even I think when Ryan had the double lead off or whatever it was in the fifth inning. Did you get that sense of here we go again, and what that might lead to as the day wore on?
No, I don't. I don't get into the "here we go again" mode. We should have scored 3 runs without getting another hit. I mean, quite honestly, we should have scored 3 runs, and just with the 5 hits that we got, all we got to do is hit ground balls up the middle to their shortstop, second baseman, and we score in the first, and we score in the third, and we're on the board with a 2-run lead. I should say without getting hit, we could have got 2 runs. I'm sorry, we could have had a 2-run lead going into the 4th inning. If we just move the ball in the middle of the field and we hit lazy fly balls in all those situations, and our hitters we have got to execute better as we move forward in the program. We have recruited diligently on the mound, and we have recruited for speed, which plays defense, and we have got to do better on the offensive side of things. We identified ourselves as a pitching and defense team after our spring break, and after we had been out and played 15, 20 times, and we learned a little bit about ourselves since we identified ourselves as a pitching and defense strong team, and we are that. And I think that took a little bit of edge off of our hitters in a way that they felt like, well, if we score a couple runs, our pitchers are we'll win the game, as opposed to always being in an offensive mindset and ready, and that just snowballed. Then we saw the competition that we saw in the last 2 weeks, and it was our offense. I'm trying to figure out the right word I want to use at times. Our offense was just suffocating to our team, to our dugout, and the momentum of games. And like I said, ground ball in that first inning, and we take a 1-0 lead. It's a whole different thing. A ground ball in the 4th inning, and we take a 2-0 lead, or the 3rd inning, whenever that was, second time around there. Ifs and buts, and there's a lot to work on. I still have a very bad taste in my mouth, but in the back of my head, it's spinning for the future.
I asked a question to the kids about the legacy of the last 3 years. Would you characterize the last 3 years as the growth that you have? This program has taken steps. It's taking steps toward where you will be.
Yeah, and I want to, I appreciate that, and I want to be careful to put feathers in caps for moving forward, because this was disappointing. We were in position to do something and put Ohio State baseball back in championship form. We had a missed opportunity this year. Are we progressing? Yes, we are progressing. We'll continue to progress. We'll be younger next year. We'll be every bit as talented next year as we reload, and with some players. We lose 9 seniors that are dear to me because of what they did on and off the field, and leading and helping with the direction in a time of change. And they had to adjust. And for young men at 19 years old to be recruited by one and then coached by another and have to learn that, it's not always easy. But those 3 captains and the other 6 seniors did an incredibly mature handling of that situation.
Coach, you touched on the last 2 weeks. In particular, it seemed like a time the team struggled to score runs. Do you feel like that puts some of your middle of the order guys, maybe the lineup just as a whole, guys maybe trying too hard, and that's why they came up short in those situational innings where just a fly ball or a grounder gets a run home?
You must have been in several team meetings because we've talked about trying too hard. We talked about just letting things happen at game time. You work and practice to make things happen. At game time, you got to let them happen. And I thought we were trying too hard to make things happen. Instead of let it happen, take what the game gives you. Don't try to do too much. And we need to learn that. And we're going to be tougher in fall ball, so that we learn these things in fall ball. That's what we need to do moving forward, and create as many competitive situations as possible in the off season to help train us for that when it comes this time.
You guys are squarely on the bubble now. Have you given any thought to your future this season, if there still is one, or did you say anything to the guys about that?
I think that's out of our hands. We're done playing until the committee meets, so there's nothing more we can do. I would hope that the committee would look at the challenge that we brought on and the service to college baseball that we did as a program this year, to have Georgia Techs, to have Oregons, to bring them to Columbus, Ohio. I think it's a really good thing for college baseball. I hope they look at that. If you look at our losses and who those losses are against, over half of our losses are against top 25 RPI teams. We've put ourselves in that gauntlet. I very easily could have scheduled these last 2 weeks differently, and we ended up with 40 wins. In an RPI standpoint, I'm not sure what that means from an RPI standpoint, because I don't think anybody's got that thing completely figured out. I really thought that Oregon, Georgia Tech would be an RPI boost, win, lose, or draw, that it would be a boost. But as it turned out with the new RPI, the home losses, didn't really help us in the equation. But then again, we put ourselves in a challenging situation, and I hope they look at that and see who we played and when we played and how close we played them. When we played a 3-game set with Oregon, lost in extra innings and lost by 1 run in the 2 of the 3 games. And a hit here and there, we could win 2 out of 3 games in that series. Indiana at home, we're a blown save and an extra inning loss there, from winning the series with Indiana. So we're close. I don't know if close means anything. Hopefully they look at the scores and they see the extra inning numbers behind some of those scores down the stretch run. Any politicking you tweeting and bloggers can do on our behalf, we'd certainly appreciate it. Well, and you saw that today. Jaron Long runs through the lineup for the first time, 9 up, 9 down, with a double play in the mix, but basically faces the minimum first time through. And then the 4th inning, right? That's when they scored that's when they, second time through the lineup, they made adjustment. They stayed on the outer half. You got to pitch to both sides of the plate to keep them off balance a little bit. If you continue, even with high quality stuff, if you continue to feed them the same stuff, they'll be on it. So that's an example of the 4th inning's an example of that. Christensen's at bat in the 8th inning is another example of that. McKinney, bang, bang, 2 fastballs in, beats him bad, comes back with a 3rd one, and it's a base hit up the middle and 2 runs. And Brett's credit, he felt like he beat him with 2, and he was going to come back with that same pitch. Christensen's credit, you got to bring something different. He was able to make the adjustment after the first 2 pitches.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.